Considering that it is February and Valentine's Day, I thought I would continue with my reviews of classic romantic films. And what's the perfect sequel to my first review? Casablanca. Casablanca, along with Gone with the Wind, are the two quintessential romantic movies. They are more than your typical romance film. Casablanca was released in 1942. In the period of 4 years from 1939 to 1942, Hollywood produced the very films that came to be associated with its golden age. When it comes to the big four of that period, Citizen Kane, Casablanca, Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz, Casablanca is by far my favourite, and one of my all-time favourite movies. Casablanca was directed by Michael Curtis, who was more associated with swashbuckling adventure films such as Captain Blood and Robin Hood than classic old Hollywood romance. The film is set in December 1941, just days before the attack on Pearl Harbor. The film's central character is Rick Blaine. He owns a nightclub in Casablanca, a popular spot for many refugees trying to escape from Europe and get to America, and the scum taking advantage of them. Rick Blaine is portrayed by Humphrey Bogart. Blaine is a cynical character who represents many of the average Americans' views on World War II at the time, a character who is noticeably neutral about the war. This is until his ex-girlfriend, Ilsa Lund, portrayed by Ingrid Bergman, re-enters his life, turning his little world upside down. Elsa is with Victor Laszlo, a leader of the Czech resistance, trying to get to America, but is blocked by German Major Strausser, who has come to Casablanca to stop Laszlo from escaping. As a result of this, Laszlo needs the letters of transit that allow for a person to travel freely throughout Europe to get to America and continue his work. The film reveals that the reason for Rick's cynicalism is because of Elsa. As it turns out, they were lovers in Paris, and on the day of the German invasion of France, they were supposed to meet up at the train station, but she never shows, breaking Rick's heart. And while Ilsa may sound like a bitch for standing him up, there is far more to the story than that, and I won't even dare spoil it. Casablanca also has what is quite possibly the best dialogue in a film ever, and this is the strongest point of the film. Films such as Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas, and The Godfather may also have great dialogue, but Casablanca has the crown. The dialogue is incredibly memorable, with great quotes such as, "He's looking at you, kid. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life. And of all the gin joints in all the world, she has to walk into mine." Unfortunately, the popular quote played against Sam is not there. All the actors and actresses in this film are very memorable. Even the extras, who have a distinct look and personality to them, even if they have a minute of screen time. The cast is for the most part multinational. Very few of the actors are American, with Sam, Dan Seymour and Bogart being the only actors to have been born in America, with the rest of the actors either German, Austrian, Swedish, English, Bulgarian, Russian, and so on. The film has an all-star cast with some of the biggest stars at the time of the film, such as Bogart, Bergman, Claude Rains, Sidney Greenstreet, and even Peter Lorre, who has a small but important part. Bogart and Bergman have fantastic chemistry in the film, and really do connect with each other. In the romantic scenes, it is very evident that their relationship is believable, and because of this, the ending seems very genuine. The ending is a fantastic scene that was constantly rewritten, but it wasn't until the last day of shooting that Ingrid Bergman knew who she would end up with, in a very emotional scene. Bogart ignores his own selfishness and does the right thing, a sentimentalist at heart. A little bit of cinema trickery, the plane of the film that you see in the background is in fact a cardboard replica, and the mechanics in the background are in fact midgets, creating the illusion that it was in fact a real-life model. Claude Rains plays the French police chief Louis Renault, who sees himself as an opportunistic survivalist, who is just as cynical as Bogart, but a true romantic, who at the very end of the film joins Bogart in his newfound crusades, symbolized by Rains when he throws a bottle of water into the bin, Vichy water, and that it is Rains who is Bogart's perfect partner. The film's closing lines, "Louis, I think this is the start of a beautiful thing," friendship, represent this. Casablanca also has a very memorable score, with the song As Time Goes By, composed by Max Steiner. Steiner had also done the soundtrack to Casablanca's great romantic title, Gone with the Wind, and while I do prefer that one, it is still very memorable and fitting for the film. The film also has a rare sense of incompleteness, to it, and is set by many characters in the film. It is a story without an ending, and this is because the film was made in the middle of World War II. No one knew what the ending to the war would be, and as a result the film doesn't either, but I like it. It's a welcome change from the normality of typical filmmaking. It also has one of my favourite scenes in the film, and that is when the Germans are playing their national anthem. In an act of defiance, Laszlo approaches the club's band and tells them to play La Marseillaise. In a beautiful scene, it is an act of defiance to the Nazis, and the emotions that we see in the actors sing are real. Many of them were refugees that had escaped at the time. The Nazis raped and plunged their homelands. Casablanca is up for all its film, with memorable moments and iconic scenes. I gave Gone with the Wind an A+. Casablanca most certainly would too, an A+. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, comment,